Hey everybody, it's a bonus stream tonight. I've got my headphones on so I could hear the opening and then realize there's no way for me to hear the opening with the way we have things set up. I'm Beej. You're watching a bonus stream tonight. It's Beej's Anime Roundup like we do every quarter. I'm trying to find a room on my desk for, it's not my desk, it's Heather's desk for my tea. We're going to spend a couple hours, maybe 3, Jesus. Oh, God, I hope not. Going over everything that we saw 2022 spring, and then also giving a preview of what's coming up in the summer that I'm gonna watch. This is again, this is like, okay. First, thank you for being here. If you're watching this live, if you're watching this recorded on youtube.com/loadingreadylive, thank you for being there. Thank you to everybody on Twitch tonight who's joining me, and thank you to everybody on Patreon as well. Patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. All of you who are giving us money in various ways do help to keep the lights on in houses and at the moon base, and food on the table, and rent and mortgages and all that good stuff. We really do appreciate it, because man, every single one of you does make a difference. Please don't forget that. Just not to us either. You make a difference wherever it is that you're doing things. You guys build a great little community here, and I hope you're helping each other out as well. You can do that on Discord. Discord.gg/LRR is our Discord if you want to go out and hang out there. And you can also go to the store.loadingreadyrun.com and buy merchandise. God, what else? Oh, right. If you have a recurring sub on Twitch, go double check that, because apparently Twitch turned off some legacy payment options or something, and it messed up a bunch of people's sub status. So if you want to get your sub status back, I believe you just have to go back and redo it. And I think your streak can stay alive. There's usually a grace period. And if you have Amazon Prime, you have a Twitch Prime sub waiting for you, a free sub to any channel you want. You can spend it on us, spend it on one of the Loading Ready Run adjacent streams. I can't remember what we call that again, the team of people who do that, but all the people who have home streams and whatnot, you can also spend those Bezos bucks somewhere else. Right. So here's how this works. The Anime Roundup is stuff that I watched. I do not go back and see what I said I was going to watch from the last one, because that time is over. That is like in the past, off to the left, right? We were looking towards the future, which is in this direction. And so whatever I said I was going to watch, maybe I watched it, maybe I didn't. If you have a bingo card that you're marking to find out whether or not I did watch a thing or not, feel free to get those out right now and start smacking the squares as I tell you what I watched. And yeah, that's going to be the same thing about the preview. It's going to be things that I think are going to be interesting, stuff that, twigs my fancy. And therefore, if you liked a thing and I didn't watch it, please don't take that as a commentary on how I think that your tastes are trash, because let's be honest, all of our tastes are equally trash. They are all valid. I think as long as you're not hurting other people when you consume your media, then I think you can probably kind of get away with, you have an awful lot of leeway. But I mean, there are some things that are just kind of like objectively trash too, and we will talk about those things because we should all have opinions. And if there's something that I enjoyed and you didn't, cool. Great. Glad you didn't enjoy a thing. Glad you dropped it. You did something better with your time, I hope. If you watched it all the way, if you watched it to the end, that sucks. But I hope you got something out of it at least. So let's get this started, because I don't want to be here all night, obviously. And I don't think you do either. Maybe you do. I mean, you probably just came off of the other shows that were on earlier this Sunday. Great. Let's start with Aharen-san wa Hakarenai. I watched this. Why? Because I was reading the manga, and Mizu Asato does the manga for that. I think Mizu Asato. Anyway, they also do uh, the Denpa. What was it again? It's the one that takes place in Electric Town. It's at a manga dojin place, a manga store called the Horse's Bone. I can't remember anything about it, but they do that one too, and uh, they have a very specific aesthetic of like lots of like girls who maybe look a little too young to be doing whatever, but they're always like very innocent, and they're very much like this of I forget her name up in the corner there. It'll come to me later. Kind of the nervous looking girl with lots of sweat drops, and sometimes who's like so nervous and so anxious that she's crying, and like lots of that kind of stuff happens and whatever. But this story is not like that. This story is about Raido, who is very straight faced almost all the time, and yet he has trouble reading Aharen-san, and yet they end up being an interesting pair, and it's a gag manga, and it's lots of fun, and I'm glad I watched it. So. All right. I didn't watch the minis though. Didn't know where I would find them. Didn't bother putting in the effort to go find them. Apparently people did. I don't know what any of this means. It's like, oh yes. I'm like, forget this stuff in the corner. We know the kind of people who watch anime and who like things and don't. There's going to be some trashy shit in here that's going to have like 90% ratings. We all know this. So yeah, Raido has a crazy imagination. He always imagines that Aharen's doing something in class or around him or whatever for some sort of reason that he can't figure out why. And then it's like, it can be some wild thing about, oh, she's joining the UN and she's going to start a new country or whatever. And he finds out, oh, she's just trying to sweep up after school. I know that doesn't make any sense, but in the state of watching the show, all these things tend to make sense. All right, so I didn't watch the minis. Awashi. I didn't watch this. That's fine. Birdie Wing. I was going to have a thing earlier where I was going to say, hey, if you can guess what I binged today, we'll see who can actually get it right. But then I figured, well, Birdie Wing comes up so close to the beginning of this list that the contest would be over very fast. So I was like 4 or 5 episodes behind on this, and I was like, I have a Sunday open. Why don't I just watch all of these? I think actually, was I 5? Was I more? I think maybe I was 6. Whatever I was behind on it, I was like, I have to get caught up on this. I have to, get this out. And what you're seeing here, that it's golf, and it's lots and lots of ladies, and forget about the dudes. They barely matter. It's just lots and lots of high school age girls. And then there's Viper, who is crazy. They're all having a golf, and golf is the golf of the universe, and I was expecting this to actually end after 13 episodes, and apparently it's not. It's going to go on, which sucks because I had expected that these two girls would go to the tournament, and then they would golf against each other, and then at the end they would kiss, and they would get in a golf-shaped rocket ship, and they'd fly off to Yuri Heaven, and that's what I was hoping was going to happen, and that did not happen, and there's going to be more. So go nuts. And like every other sports anime, I don't care. Like it's like every other sports anime, it seems that I watch, there's always like people being jerks for no good reason. And then we'll give them some backstory. And I'm like, great. Don't care why you had to make them out to be better jerks than they are, I guess. Will I watch the next season of this? I guess I will. Sure. So, as Ian has pointed out, though, because he started watching this, he's like, hey, you should watch this. I'm like, okay. As he has pointed out, is it's like they go to great lengths to get so much Gundam references in this show, more than you would expect in a golf girl story. But hey, Sunrise Pictures, Bandai Namco, like whatever. Moving on. Oh yeah, did I like it? Shit, I don't know. I don't know if I did. Like I said, I had to binge it and catch up because I'm like, I know I want to finish it, but at the same time, I'm also like, I don't care if I watch this that much. Like it's every week when there's a new episode, I was just not watching it. And then all of a sudden it's Sunday and I'm like, I'm going to do a thing tonight. Maybe I'll do that. But oh yeah, this guy's name is Coach Amuro, Reya. Yeah. Amuro Reya. Yeah. This is Leo. I guess he's the Char. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. It's good. I don't know if like it didn't light my world on fire. I was never that excited to watch more episodes, mostly because I don't know. I love the ridiculousness of a lot of pieces of it, but it also felt so tense all the time, like sports anime is. And I'm just like, I hate that. I hate that it's always about, you know, and also the stakes change in a weird way. Like Eve is golfing for her life in one episode, and then in like the next episode, it's like, you have to prove to me that you can be here in this high school and play golf at a high school. And it's like, what are you talking about? Like, this woman she could probably kill you. She's probably beaten the shit out of people in alleys before. I'm sure of it. Eve is like a hard ass. Like, I'm sure that she has probably punched people right in the face before. We've never seen it. And I'm like, why are we doing this? You have to prove that you can hit a ball out of a bunker or I won't believe in you. And I'm like, fuck, stop it. Like, anyway, moving on. Black Rock Shooter. Nope, didn't watch that. Bubble. We did watch this. This was fun. It's The Little Mermaid? Is that what it was? Sure. It says ONA. It's a movie. It's on Netflix. It's good, you know, got an evening, watch it. It's, it's good in that it looks amazing. It's fairly facile, but it's like, it looks amazing. So, you know, watch it. Have a good time watching it. Build Divide Code White. Never even heard of that. Jesus. Cap Kakame Bottleman DX. Nope. Chikawa. Nope. Crayon Shinchan Mononoke Ninja Chin Food and nope. Let's see here. Q Short Anime. Did I arrange this all by title? Did I actually split these up into just titles? Well, whatever, doesn't matter. Dance, Dancer. Nope, didn't watch that either. Date Alive 4. No, didn't watch the other 3 seasons. Daemon. Aha, I did watch this. This was very sweet. When a new one would show up, you'd be like, oh, good, this will be a nice thing to kind of just chill out with. Never was that excited to watch it, but just kind of liked it well enough. I felt like this is fine. And I think it's a setup more for like, hey, you should go read the manga because there's way more going on. Like there's way more story after it. And I was like, yeah, fine. So, and yeah, it was good. I liked it. Shot of old style wagashi shop. Very high end stuff. I was just like, yeah, nice. Some fun little side story stuff too, especially about Masa-san, who seems to be older than the dad who owns the place. Masa-san being a very nice old man, and yeah. Anyway, it was good. Diamond was good. Dragon Ball Super Superhero. Nope. Duel Masters King Max. Nope. Estab Life Great Escape. I watched one episode, and in fact, you guys said. Beej, should watch this. You'd probably enjoy it. I watched the first episode, dropped it. It was not my jam. And that's fine. I hope if people enjoyed it, great. But I watched that first episode and I was like, no, not my thing. So I don't know how the rest of it went. Very little of that opinion was about the animation. The animation is all 3D. And very heavy on, how 3D has been developing in some ways. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. It feels that kind of felt weird, but more than anything else, it's like, I just didn't like the story, like I just didn't like the story. So I was like, okay. So after the first episode, I was like, no, we're done. Free the Final Stroke, Kohen. Nope. Gai Kotsu Kishi-sama Tadaima Isukai Odekake Chu, didn't watch that. Ginga Eiyu Densetsu Di Nuye Teise Gekitotsu, did not watch. Well, it's the sequel to another one of the Legend of Galactic Heroes I didn't watch. This is a film sequel. Gunjo no Fanfare. Horse Racing Academy that trains boys to become jockeys, did not watch that. Healer Girl, did not watch that. Eroin Tarumono, didn't watch this. Honzuki no, of course, I watched Honzuki no Gakokujo. Shisho ni naru tame ni wa shudan o eranderai sen, third season. It's it's the adaptation of part two. It's still really good. Like a lot of things happen, a lot of stuff where you're like, oh no. I think it's better binged. I think because there's just some like they end on some cliffhangers, and you're like, I need to watch more of this. But yeah, it's I really enjoyed this. I'm hearing that. Let's see here. Maricat's trying to follow along. Let's close that window. Let's scroll back to the top real fast. I'll show you what my settings are. So if everyone else is trying to follow along. So let's see. I have it set to sort by title. And then I have it in the big grid mode and blew it up. And I don't know if there's anything else here that I can do to help this more. Let's zoom that down a hair. Yeah, format, any. Airing status, any. It's neat how that changes. Right? That's what it looks like. Let's roll backwards to A Sense of a Bookworm. Again, great series, great show. Glad I'm watching it. Really enjoying it. Okay, let's move on. I mean, hey, a green face finally. Moving on. Idleland Prepara, nope, didn't watch that. Insectland, nope. Inu, oh, nope. Musical fantasy film, you say? Oh, based on Heike Monogatari Inu o Nomaki. On a novel, in fact. Cool. Nope. Did not watch this. Sounds interesting. Legendary Artist, Defied Fate, Fortunes and Destiny anime form of a rock operetta, spectacular music and dance sequences. I'm sure it'd be a lot of fun. Didn't watch it. Moving on. Isekai Quartet, Another World. Nope, didn't watch that. Jewel Pet Attack Travel, didn't watch that. Jombital. Weird. After an unprecedented zombie attack that killed hundreds of thousands, South Korea has finally been declared zombie-free, and all this... Anyway, his daughter's the last zombie left on Earth. Neat idea. Didn't watch it. Mahjong Soul. Kaginado Season 2. Didn't watch that. Haha. Kaguya-sama Kokurai Setai. Ultra romantique. This was great. I mean, it's got a 90% up here. Big happy faces. Apparently a lot of people also thought it was great too. But yeah, Kaguya-sama, like I'm reading the manga, and they're like 250 chapters, 300 chapters, and however long they're into the whole thing now, where the fan scanlating is happening. And so I'm way ahead of this. We've already had another massive arc, and I'm like, I wonder if we'll get a chance to see that or not. But this one really, it was great because it goes through the school festival arc. And has a whole bunch of like everything you see here where it's talking about all these things that are happening. Like even like, Ishigami has a crush on Tsubame Koyasu. Ino's trying to like, she's the new one who's also the disciplinary committee one. And it's just like, she's trying to understand how it's like, why is Ishigami the way that he is? But she's also trying to overcome her own authoritarian moral code, and whatever. It's just that everything builds to a breaking point at the school festival, and that's what's important. And there's like a 3-episode arc, I think, or a 4-episode arc that encompasses all that stuff. And it's like, it's so good because that's what the manga did too, is it's like, we're going to give you 25 chapters, it seems, just about this. And what's so great about it is that from reading it, that either the writer, like the mangaka, thinks so well on their feet, or when they were writing everything, they're like, okay, filler chapter, like here, I'm going to give you like 9 filler chapters in a row because I am still working on how every little bit of what I want to have happen in the school festival arc needs to work out. So I'm going to write you a whole bunch of other chapters about other things going on. Like, it really felt like everything either had to be completely planned out so that everything stuck together the way you wanted it to, or that it was just like, this happened, and then what happens? Well, it's gonna be this, and it all feels great. It's all so fun, and everything that happens after this we don't get to see yet. I hope they make a fourth season. I hope that if they do, that they just go straight up and be like, screw it, 26 episodes, we're gonna give you a ton of stuff. But it's, I don't know, they just keep getting 13s. I don't understand why. It's such a good show, but fine. Kaito Queen Sarkis Osuki. No, didn't watch this. Single episode of something though. Kako no Ikagen, didn't watch that. Kako no Inazuke, I'm guessing yes, that's related to this. Nope, didn't watch that. Karakai Jozu no Takagi-san movie. I haven't seen it show up anywhere yet. Don't know exactly where it's supposed to show up. I assume because Netflix has the Takagi-san series that they're probably getting the movie as well. So I'll have to go looking for it. See, maybe it's showing up somewhere else. Okay, that's the last of my tea for the time being. Kawaii dake janai, Shikimori-san. Or Shikimori's not just a cutie. So, the premise is great, right? Oh, she's super cute all the time, and she's so wonderful. And then, boom, she turns into like an ikemen. She's like, yes, I'm so cool, and I'm the hottest. I'd be like the hottest prince in the class, kind of thing. That's what the expectation is. That's what I went into thinking this. Not really. It has its moments where, you know, you really get like a really pointy jaw drawn with very like going from like the wider eyes to going to the sanpaku eyes, like, and very like, you know, sultry, kind of like, I'm saving your life. And yeah, I like this. And Doga Kobo, again, it's like, you know, they've released some really good series that I've really enjoyed, but I'm also like, I'm watching it more out of obligation, which is a weird thing to say, because it's like, it doesn't, nothing about it feels fresh and new. Like, it feels like I've seen this before somehow. It's, I don't know, I'm just not really getting it. The person who's more fun is her, Hachimitsu-san. And she's just a background character, but she's had some good little moments in the series, like especially at the school sports day. She's had some good moments there too, and it's just, everyone's been really fun to watch. But yeah, I don't know. It's not like I needed it to be like, let's see Izumi start to like her, and then eventually they end up going out with each other. But there are a couple like flashback episodes which are nice, because you get to that sense of, okay, you already know these two are dating, but let's see how they were before they started dating, and that's good. I agree with Rock Pusher. The character dynamics make all five of the people, you can't see the fifth one that easily, and I don't think, anyway, all five of the friends all seem like a group of friends, which is great. It kind of makes it seem like Inu and Neko are like they're supposed to be a couple maybe, but not really, so you're like, And there was also an episode where, God, what happened again? Oh, you get to see Izumi having, like, he has a friendship with another girl in his class, I think his class, or she's a senpai or something. And everyone really likes, she's the prince of her class. She's the prince of her grade, essentially, kind of deal. But she never, but she kind of ended up having a crush on Izumi, and he had no idea. And it's like, Makina, that's it, thank you. She's on the library committee. And it was so, like, it was lovely and poignant, and I was like, this is nice. This is, there's a lot about this series that I ended up really liking. I'm not a fan of the opening sequence so much, like, it's fine. The ending sequence is top fucking notch, though. It's a rhythm game, and I'm just kind of, I had to show Heather, I'm like, look, they made a rhythm game ending, like, and she's like, whatever. So, you know, because it's not an actual rhythm game, right? But I'm like, there are people out there who like rhythm games enough they would make an entire ending. So anyway, moving on. I really liked it. But it was like I never got excited by it, but every time I finished watching it, I was like, that was good. So I don't know why I can't really stick to that. Ken to Master Ken. Nope, didn't watch that. Kido Senshi Gundam 00 Revealed Chronicle. Ask Ian. He's seen it because I didn't. Kido Senshi Gundam Kukuru's Doan no Shima. Probably he's seen it. I have not. Kingdom 4. I didn't watch any other Kingdom, so nope. Koya Sekai Seifuku no Atode. This is a surprise of the season. I know there's an ecchi tag on here. Has mostly to do with the way Desumi, the blonde character, is dressed all the time. I believe that's where that really comes into play. Because these two are wholesome as fuck. Oh my god. This was a lot of fun. Like right on the face of it, he's the leader. He's the Red Ranger from Gelato 5. And she's the Shinigami princess. She's the Reaper princess for the evil organization Gecko, who are wanting to take over the world. And the two of them fall in love. And it's super cute how the confession happens and how they build a relationship. And has nothing to do with them, like nothing to do with their secret identities falling in love with each other. It has everything to do with them falling in love with each other right away on the battlefield. And it's so great, and so much about seeing how the evil organization is structured and how it's supposed to run, and seeing how people have crushes on each other themselves, like in different ways, and seeing like all the other little interplay that happens. I'm just like, this is so good. I was really happy to that I picked it up. That I was like, yeah, this could be fun and stupid, and it's like, it's so good. So, yeah, I would say definitely watch this. Somebody in chat was saying how they're reading the manga, and the manga's even like it's fun too. If the manga's still going, I should probably go find it because like I want to see what happens next. It does never really feels like they're gonna sew this thing up, and I'm like that's fine. So yeah, I recommend it. It's heavy on the comedy side. It's a lot of fun for that. All right, moving on. Yes. Our vibrating owl cat is back. Komi-san wa Komusho desu 2. It's the second season of Komi Can't Communicate. And I love this whole thing where it's like, they're back. Who's she going to make friends with now? How will her relationship with Tadano evolve? Well, not really much of anything, but a little, but not really. And I'm just like, if they don't greenlight this for another 76 episodes, there's no justice in this world. I started reading this, I think, around like chapter 3 or 4 again. This is one of those things where it's like on Something Awful, hanging out in the what is it again? Anime dealt to readers worldwide, I think is what they're calling ADTRW now. Hanging out in their forum is really good for in the anime forum, because it's really good for having you join the threads where it's like, what's the kind of manga you like reading? Well, surreal daily life manga, I like that. Oh, I also like, dad manga. I also like this other stuff. It's like, great, join those, because then every so often, someone's going to drop a thing being like, hey, this series just came out. It's three chapters so far, and it's really good. And, I'll go read it and add it to my manga dex thing and be like, yeah, this is pretty good. The next thing you know, I'm 300 chapters in and just like sitting on a stream now describing to you how good this series is and how it's been so good for so long. And the fact it hadn't gotten picked up until like very recently, it's like, that was a crime because there's so much good stuff going on in here. And you only have to, of course, animate the gems. The opening sequence is great. Of the first season, and if you watch that one and then watch the opening sequence of the second season, you get to watch them make the first season's opening sequence, which is what's really fun about that. You get to see how these things relate to each other. You meet so many more new characters, because of course there's a lot of new characters to meet. All the characters have names that are puns, and if you haven't realized that through the fact that her name is Komi-san and she has a Komusho, the fact that Tadano's name is Tadano Hito, which is like just average person kind of thing. The fact that the childhood friend's name is Osana Najimi, which means childhood friend. It's like everybody in class has a pun name, and it has to do with their personality, but it doesn't limit them to being just that. But it's kind of the starting off point for, we need you to know who this character is. And Naruse-san is the narcissist. And yeah, it's a blast. I've really liked this. It's on Netflix, so if you have Netflix it's on Netflix in Canada. If you have Netflix, you should be able to go watch it. I hope that this gets greenlit forever. Who knows if that's going to happen? If Netflix is sinking money into it, hopefully they're going to see that it's popular. That's why I'm like, people go watch this on Netflix, because at least if they can see the people watching it boosting up, it's like, well, there's some money here to be made. I guess. I don't know how they make money on Netflix. It's consumer stuff only, but anyway. Gekyoryu, if that manga is available on Manga Dex, I will find it. But thank you. Let's see, move forward. Kono Healer Mendokusai. I watched 2 episodes of this and dropped it. Boy, angry face or sad face. Contact lenses bugging me a bit. It's gonna be rough. So anyway, this is like, actually, Gekyoru, if you have the link ready already, yeah, just DM me on Twitter, I guess, or just at me on Twitter. I'll pick it up from there. I was going into this. I was interested in the fact that if you watch the first episode, they put the opening sequence at the end, and they have like every episode in the opening sequence, they show off who the like monster character that they're going to run into in every of the 12 episodes. They have them there as being like episode 1 guest, and then they would have the picture of them and it would say CV and have the name of the person who's playing them. And I was so surprised. I'm like, oh, maybe they're just doing that for the first episode because of who plays Kuma-san in this thing, who's the bear. And then they did them for like all 12 episodes, including like the last one you meet, which is just, of course, a shadow, and it has like a CV with a question mark. And I'm like, that's super cool that you went into this being like, we want to tell people what this whole show is going to be like and about, and you can look forward to seeing like famous characters or famous voices voicing these characters or something like that. I don't know, because they didn't translate any of that, so I have no idea. But yeah, I watched the first episode. I fell asleep during the second episode when I was watching it. And I thought I'll go back and watch it, and then never did. And was like, yeah, I don't really, I thought it was going to be fun, but it's also like, I think it only works if you're a certain kind of person who really likes this kind of comedy. And sometimes I think even that form of comedy can be very difficult to pull off. Maybe it works better when it's in print, because it's like reading dirty manga, that it's like, it's way easier to deal with this in print because you can just kind of look at something for a few seconds, get a sense of what's going on, and move on to the next title and be like, yes, yeah, or next panel, right? And you're like, yes, okay, yes, I'm with you, great, okay, done. Whereas if you watch it on screen, you're like, boy, you're still doing that. Oh, we're filling time, aren't we? Oh, yeah, okay. Boy, I don't like how that's going. I wish you'd move on. Like that kind of feeling of I sometimes, things get paced differently. This might be a thing that maybe in manga it's paced differently, if it is a manga at all. Maybe it only works as a TV show. Who knows? It says it is a TV show, but they usually have a thing that tells you what where it's coming from. But I guess I don't have that in the thing. So anyway, the first episode is interesting, but ultimately also feels like a little bit like it's playing out like it's a manzai routine that is also being half improvised. That they have some idea of where it's going to go, but it also feels like it's being half improvised, and that's kind of fun. But yeah, I guess I just couldn't keep it going. So yeah. Kokaku Kidotai, SAC 2045 Season 2, finally, Ghost in the Shell, SAC 2045. We really want you to know that we remember Standalone Complex, so please watch this, because we really do remember Standalone Complex, and we want you to remember back when Ghost in the Shell was good. Remember back when Ghost in the Shell was last good, when during Standalone Complex, and you really like Standalone Complex? Well, that's what the SAC stands for, but we're not going to say that that's what it stands for. But what we're going to do instead is we're going to give you this little pink-haired knockoff girl who's super cute and has glasses, and she's very, very smart, and she's going to be kind of a side character, but she's going to become very important for some reason. But also don't remember that she's very cute, and it's like, Jesus Christ. And I watched it, and I was like, that was fine. Sure was what it was. Like, I'm just like, that's fine. The first season's a little hard to watch because the first few episodes you really feel like, oh, I don't really like what's going on here. It doesn't feel like it's not really Section 9, right? But it's just like, and then it is Section 9 eventually. You're like, oh, they're all back together in Section 9 again. I'm like, sure, whatever. But like, I don't know. I'm like, I liked Pudding. That's her name. Yes, her name is Pudding too. Let's get that set up too. I liked her all right later as she got a lot more characterization. That I was like, that, yeah, makes sense. She doesn't wear this outfit all the time. Like that's something that's a cosplay thing that ends up happening. But as Aquinas kind of puts it, it just keeps getting more mediocrely horrible, which is a weird way to put it, but it kind of is. Yeah, it just kind of feels like, boy, production IG, I always expect more of this, I guess. And it's like, man, we want more standalone Complex because we really liked that. And this didn't feel like that for some reason. I don't know why. Like, in the middle of season 2, it kind of is like, okay, I can see how we're developing more story, and I feel a little bit better about, more story. But I don't know, it just didn't really click in the way that you wanted it to. So yeah. It's the kind of thing that just makes me think that it's like, I don't know if there are people left at Production IG who are like, we wanted to make Blade Runner, but we didn't get to, so instead we're going to adapt Ghost in the Shell. Oh shit, we get to adapt Blade Runner? Okay, let's go do that. Wait, how do you do that again? Well, just try to make it like Ghost in the Shell. No, we've forgotten how to do that too. Well, then just, I don't know, make something that has a lot of sword fighting and kicking and shit, and then that'll be what they want, right? That's what the people are paying for. I'm like, I guess that's what people are paying for. So I don't recommend that people go watch it but if you really liked Ghost in the Shell and you haven't seen season 1 of this and you want to watch like the 2 seasons, you got a lot of time to kill or whatever, I guess, go ahead. Like, I don't feel like I regretted watching this. Like, I regretted like I want my time back. Because I didn't drop it. And also because it was like a huge drop on Netflix like all at once. I'm like, I can span this out however I want, but it really just felt like, okay, it is what it is. And I can feel good that I finished watching it and we can move on. Speaking of moving on, Kunoichi Tsubaki no Mune no Uchi, or In the Heart of Kunoichi Tsubaki. So that's her of the bare midriff and the big ponytail. This has a banger opening. It's by the Peggies. And I really love a lot of the imagery and stuff they throw into the opening too, where it's like she's kind of like there's this massive spiral of roses and she's getting like she's kind of floating and being drawn through the air thing, and her ponytail is getting untied and stuff, and I'm like, oh, I love the imagery of that. And then at the end of the opening, that the roses all reverse and her ponytail gets tied back up and she gets pulled out of the thing and she ends up like reaching out to kind of be like, no, wait. It's very much about adolescence, because the story opens with her finding out about men and wondering why there's this weird feeling in her heart when she thinks about what men are, and she doesn't really know what men are. And it's like, yeah, you read this and you're like, oh, this is gonna get, look at the way the girls are dressed too, right? There's so much skin, there's like so many bare like bare midriffs and stuff, and Mokuren's wearing a net shirt and stuff, and it's kind of open and it looks very lascivious, and it's like there is no ecchi tag, because it's not. The whole idea of men is kind of set up, and it's kind of dangled throughout the whole series a little bit, that men are this mysterious thing. You find out why why it is that the women all live separately, and all the men are living separately. And it's fun. Like, it's just like, it's a fun, goofy series. And it's by the guy who does Teasing Master Takagi-san, and Ayumu is approaching the end game, which we're going to get, I believe, next season. and everybody has all the girls have massive foreheads. And yeah, I really like this. It was a great realization of the manga. It's got a lot of action in it. You have to kind of be able to deal with a lot of, like, young girl voice characters, I think, as well. And boy, are there a lot of them, because there's like 28. There's just so many characters. And if you can't keep track of them, that's fine. Only the important ones are the ones you're going to see more often than not. But, like, for example, this is Asagao and this is Sazanka. Well, they're members of Team Dog with Tsubaki. Rindo's going to show up eventually too. Mokuren is a member of Team Sato, Team Monkey. There's Hinagiku. Is she important? Kind of, but not really. There's a couple episodes where we deal with her. But then there's also Beni Sumomo, who is very important because she's about as strong as Tsubaki is as well. And Beni Sumomo is like, she's driven by her. But again, these names, right? These names are way more complicated. They're not just, this one's Ren, this one's San, like none of that kind of stuff. It's like they have very involved names and it can be hard to keep track of them. And I'm sure maybe they mean something if you see them spelled out with kanji or whatever, but it's like, yeah, I'm just seeing Beni Sumomo and I'm like, that is a very long name. But anyway, I loved it. I had a great time watching it. If they made more of it, I'd watch more of it. I don't know if they're gonna. I don't see why they would. Also, there was a really cute picture in one of the in the manga magazine where these all run, where Takagi is like running a relay and she passes off the baton to Tsubaki. Like, it's this one picture, and Tsubaki like takes the baton, right, and ahead of her is what's her name again? It's the senpai from Ayumu Moves Closer to the End Game, the shogi-based love comic that's coming up, which is his other series. These are these 3 series, and because it's like Takagi-san just got an anime and is passing the baton to Tsubaki, who has an anime this season, and then next season Ayumu gets this thing. So then the senpai ends up, she's going to take it for the next season kind of thing. And I thought it was really cute how they set up as like, look, they're passing the baton from one to the other, that we're going to have 3 straight seasons of Yamamoto Soichiro shows. So anyways, it was good. I had a good time. Kyokai Senki Part 2, didn't watch that. Love All Play, didn't watch that. Love Live Nijigasaki, didn't watch that. Machikara Mazaku ni Chome, yes! If you haven't watched the first season of this, go ahead and watch it. This is very fun. It's a Maho Shoujo. It's not what you expect, because the main character is Shamiko Yuko here, but they'll Shadow Mistress Yuko, or Shamiko. So a lot of them just call her Shamiko, but some of her friends will still call her Yuko. She's a demon. She had no idea that she was a demon girl. This is the demon girl next door, for people who don't know. She had no idea she was a demon, and then found she's a demon. Her family is all like descended from demons and whatnot. Her dad is trapped in a tangerine box and a mikan box in their house. I'm spoiling a lot of things from the first season. Doesn't really, you'll go watch it. There's way more going on there. It's a fast show, but the manga is a yonkoma, so this is structured a lot like a yonkoma, in the way that you little taste of that Azumanga Daioh feeling structure of, you can tell that they're doing a thing, and that, oh, we do this, and gag. We do this, we do this, and gag. But also the mangaka, or the manga itself, is not just like, I'm just a gag manga. No, it's trying to tell a story, and the story's been going on for so long. And so there's lots involved, and there's lots of lore. And the second season is just, again, more of this. And it's just a lot of fun. The big problem they talk about here with finding another magical girl who's gone mysteriously missing, that's Sakura Chiyoda, which is Momo's sister, and they don't say if they're like a blood related sister or not, but it's like, but Sakura Chiyoda is very important to what's been going on in the city in which they all live, and nobody really knows what's been going on, but it's fun and it's interesting, and Shamiko can do diving into dreams and stuff, and that's diving into people's subconscious while they sleep, and it's very interesting to see like how some of that plays out too. So I recommend this. I think it's great. I cannot wait for a 3rd season. I mean, you can tell other people apparently have said it's good too, so hey, good enough for me, right? Moving on. Magia Record, didn't watch the new Mahou Shoujo Madoka Magica. Motsukai Reimeki, nope, didn't watch that. Didn't, no idea they did a crossover. Yep, had no idea they did a crossover. Don't really care. We'll move on. Apparently they did a mini anime as well. Meitante Kornen, Halloween no Hanayome, nope, didn't watch that. Meitante Kornen, Zero no Tea Time, didn't watch that. Moto Majime no Fumajime, Kaiketsu Zorori, third season, didn't watch that. Nana Lucky, Seven Lucky Gods, didn't watch that. Odd Taxi in the Woods, haven't seen this yet, but also it also depicts what happens after the finale, so maybe I will watch it, but I didn't go looking for it. Onipan, I think I saw the PV for this and was like, oh, okay. But then ultimately didn't watch it. So I didn't know they made a TV series out of it. The half episode, 12 episode thing, but whatever. Oshiri Tante, Shiriati, I guess. Time for another shitty butt detective thing. Otomege Sekai wa Mob ni Kibishi Sekai desu. Did I watch this? It's got mecha in it. I think I'd remember if there were mecha in it. No, didn't watch that. Pari P. Kome, didn't watch that. Princess Principal, whatever, didn't watch that. Didn't watch the Penguin Drum duology thing. Rikega Koi ni whatever, didn't watch the first of that anyway. RPG Fudo-san. Okay, I watched like the first 3 or 4 episodes of this. It kind of became hard to watch, that I just kind of felt like this wasn't my jam. Was hoping it would be, was surprised by the amount of just like casual cleavage on the part of the main character here who shows up. That's Kotone there. But also with other characters. And I was just like, yeah, I don't know. I watched like I say, I watched a few episodes of it and then just was like, I think I know what they're setting up here, but ultimately not that interested in it. And so I just like Don't Hurt Me, My Healer. I was just like, RPG Real Estate. I was hoping it would be a little more like the Dragon House Hunting and stuff like that. It's not, because it is about like, these places already exist and we'll just take you to them and show them off. And I don't know. I just didn't really, it didn't really grab me. Hoping for it to grab me, it didn't really grab me. So anyway, a Doga Kobo series, but didn't really get me. Shachiku-san wa Yojo Yure ni Iasaretai. You'll see this as Miss Shachiku and the Little Baby Ghost, if you're seeing it in English. It's about Fushihara, not anybody named Shachiku. That's her there, who's just like, come on again, what's her name from Kobayashi? The very kind of like, yes, I'm wearing very neutral clothing, right? Anyway. So this is the first ghost that you meet. This is Yurei-san, this little ghost girl. Then eventually you meet Miyako, who's a little ghost Bakaneko. And then we meet Lily, I think that's her name. And she's the little maid ghost that hangs out with this woman here who's like a next door neighbor of her. And then eventually we also meet a divine messenger. I'm telling you all this because it's like you kind of see that from the beginning. Senko-san, Ghost Baby Edition. Yeah, it's very much like that, Doodles the Great. It's just very much like Fushihara's just in her office and she hears like this kind of like this weird wavery voice, and she's like, that's weird. She walks around and then she finds this little baby ghost with like a voice changing megaphone, and she's just very, very, it's sugar. Like the whole series is just sugar. It's real hard. So, because it's like, you got to be able to take that. And it's hard. Like, I was like, not that driven to watch it. I'd be like, I'll build it into other things, because if it's too sugary, I feel like I need to watch something else just to kind of like balance out what's gone on. So you got to be ready for that. Is it healing? Well, it's not, because it's really sugary, but but the cuteness, the bits that are cute when it is very cute is very cute. So it's cute. So watch that if you want, if you like the cute. So there you go. And Shadowverse Flame. No, didn't watch that. Shijo Saikyo no Daimao Muribito. I didn't watch that. Shin Ikitosen. Didn't watch that. Shoke Shoujo no Virgin Road. You know what? I'm going to take our commercial right now, and I'll come back, because I figure if I'm going to talk about this, then I want to give myself some time, and I need to go, I have a biological imperative. So stick around. We're going to commercial. We'll see you again in a few minutes. All right, we're back. Heather is in the other room playing some sort of videoed game, and I am here doing my bonus stream for the 2022 spring season of all the anime that's fit to watch. And hopefully I'll be able to keep reading. Right. I'm going to put the headphones on despite the fact that I don't need them. I just feel like if I'm on stream, I need to be able to keep hearing my voice in my own head like this, so that way I know when I'm actually talking into the microphone. Right, so Shoke Shoujo no Virgin Road, or The Executioner and Her Way of Life. Very different takes on this. You know how I talked about hate watching something? Yeah. So this is on, I'm pretty sure this is on Dynasty Reader. And I saw all the tags that were like included tragedy and all sorts of other things. And I'm like, I'm never reading that shit. Moving on. And the feeling I had with this is I'm like, well, maybe I ought to watch this because, hey, if it's a lot of people seem to like it, or at least people where I'm reading this, or I'm not reading it, but on Dynasty forum and whatnot, the Dynasty Discord, people talk about watching this and are having read it already and stuff, and it's like I know it's bad for me. Like, that's the weird thing. I was definitely like, oh, I know I shouldn't bother watching this because I know it's bad for me, and yet I kind of keep I watch an episode and I'm like, okay, yeah, I want to watch another one now. Okay, well, now I gotta wait. And so then you wait for a week and a new one comes up, you're like, oh, shit. Well, what am I going to pair this with so I can watch it? And then that's what you do, right? I watch an episode of this. I'm like, that was kind of compelling a little bit. Yeah, okay. I'm interested to see what happens next. Okay, let's watch something else and kind of clear out. And like next week it comes along, oh shit, right, this thing, I was watching this. I don't really want to watch this. Oh shit, well, maybe I'll pair it with this and and I do that again. And I'm like, yeah. That was my experience. And I just didn't like that that's what the experience was that I was having, where it's like, it doesn't feel, it doesn't feel like, it's when so Aiko and Mag is saying that you got to the end of the Ikari Goes to the City arc where shit gets teased and forgot to keep up on it. Well, let me tell you, when she gets to the city, when they resolve that piece of the arc, everything is set out for you to be like, okay, now I get a better idea what's going on. And that's the thing about this, I think, is that the drip feed of story and lore to kind of make clear to you what's actually happening. And the revelations of things that happen, I'm like, okay, that's why I'm being compelled. Not that I'm enjoying it, right? Like, I don't feel like I'm enjoying it so much as I'm being compelled to watch more, because I'm like, but I want to find out why that is. And then they say something, I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, I get it now, okay, and then, then it's kind of like, well, I want to come back and watch more of that. I'm going to have a candy, by the way, while we're doing this, because my throat's drying out a bit. I hope you don't mind. So was it good? I am going to probably take this off my list. If they're going to make more of that, I'm going to make sure that I don't watch any more of it, because I'm like, I can be completely satisfied with what I saw and don't give a crap if I ever see how this thing ends. I'm not going to go read it on like Dynasty Reader or anywhere else. I'm just kind of finished with the idea of watching this, feeling compelled to watch it. So Some of you, apparently this was your jam. Great. There are some cool ideas in here. I absolutely agree. I'm glad that, it got made into an anime as well, to be like, let's tell you about whatever. But yeah, if you want to read the manga, it's on dynastyreader.com.net, wherever it is, where you can find all your great Yuri manga, because this is a Yuri manga. So there, when you see men, it's like, oh, you're not long for this world. So yeah. Anyway, we'll move on. Spriggan. Netflix just got this. I think this is the new Spriggan or whatever. I haven't watched this. Maybe I will. Don't really care one way or the other. You want to talk about things that everyone was excited to watch, and that it's just like, oh, every time one of these showed up, it's like, yes, yeah. Oh, when am I gonna watch this now? I'm gonna watch it after something else. So I'll watch that other thing about the executioner, and I'll watch this one next. No, wait, maybe I'll put this one on after this other thing. Now we're gonna, I want to sit down and really enjoy this, because Spy Family is such a good manga. And another one of these ones where it's like, hey, want to read a weird manga? There's this one about a guy who's a spy and a woman who's an assassin, and their pretend daughter in their pretend marriage who's an esper and knows both their secrets, and while they don't even know each other's secrets, and she does not want to, and Anya's not telling anybody anything if she can help it. It's just, the fact this only has 12 episodes is like, sucks, because I want more of this, obviously. I don't know if they can do more of this. Like, I think it's kind of like, so many people have liked this that I think it could certainly get a second season. It could probably even get a third season, right? Like that kind of thing. So it's getting, okay, it's continuing in October. Awesome. Thank you, Gekyoru. But I think it is one of those things where it's like, the manga better get a fucking move on, because the point of the story is that Lloyd Forger here, the Twilight, that's his name, Agent Twilight, has to prevent a war between Ostania and Westalis. Great names, by the way, Westalis and Ostania. I'm like the Ost being the East, right? Like, it's just like, I love that these are the two things. They live in Berlin, in Ostania. So he works for the West. He's trying to ensure that that we don't have there ain't going to be a war. And Donovan Desmond, his son goes to a school, and so they're like, the spy team that he works for, the intelligence services for Westalis, are like, okay, you need to make a fake family in 1 week, and you need to be able to get your daughter into the school that his son is going to start attending. And so he picks a new daughter from an orphanage and has no idea she's an Esper. She can read people's minds. Anya is starved for excitement, and so she loves the idea of being adopted by a spy. And then when they end up, he's like, I need a wife as well, and he meets Yor, who's wonderful, and she's very sweet. And Yor's like, oh man, if I don't find a husband, everyone's going to think that I'm a spy because I'm of a certain age as a woman. And they just keep reporting women who are my age because they keep thinking that we're getting turned to the enemy, because everyone is very nervous in Ostania. And so the two of them managed to work out a thing, being like, we'll have a pretend marriage. Let's say we've been married for a year. We'll pretend that. And just everything about the ridiculous premise, but it all hangs together. And it's so fun. And there are very few shows this season where I've watched the beginning and the end. I mean, Tsubaki was one of them. God, what else? Komi-san I watched the beginning and ending for, because I forgot to say the ending for Komi-san. For Komi Can't Communicate is top notch as well. It's really cool. You get to see, like, this is the beginning of what school life was like, and then you get to see this is what the ending, like the current situation of what school life is like for them, and it's like, it's so fun. But the beginning and the ending for both of these are also very, very good. So I watched them both because and it is like, as it has come up here in chat, somebody said it's the Anya show with family, and it's like, yeah, Yor doesn't get a lot to do right off the bat. She has her moments and she has great moments, and there are points where she will get to do more in the manga. Um, she has an entire arc that's basically about her. It's the cruise ship arc, which is really, really fun. So I would, if you want to get more of this, go read it. It's the Shueisha. Goddamn, the Shueisha app has all of it translated into English. I'm not sure how much of it's currently available for free. I know that the latest chapter is always available for free up to the point where they're done with that. The Viz app apparently has it too. That's awesome. But yeah, go check it out because it's a hell of a good read. And I mean, I had said to when I was on Lure MTG and I was decided to pilot Adam's weird, like his deck that he'd made that was probably a good deck, but he had to go do something. And James came and he's like, "You keep playing, I will read manga. You know, that'll be a great reversal of roles." I'm like, "Cool." And he's like, "What should I read?" And I'm like, "Oh, you should read Spy Family." And he read like the first 2 chapters. He's like, "This is good." And I'm like, "Yeah, it is. It's good." So anyway, yeah, the anime is a blast, and I'm so looking forward to watching more of it. Strike the Blood Final, Suisei no Freiline Prologue, meh, I didn't watch those. Summertime Render, I've heard people have watched Summertime Render. I haven't. I don't know if I will. I got 80% from people. It's got a happy face. Great, whatever. 25 episodes, so there's more coming. I'm not watching it because the mystery thriller aspect of it, I'm just kind of like, I don't know if I really want to watch a supernatural thriller. Those can get scary. I don't like scary. People are carrying weapons. I don't really like this idea either. So I know other people are watching it. Locked by Disney Plus. Wait, hang on. This is coming to Disney Plus? All right. Well, please enjoy it. It is not my jam. Hey, Shield Hero. I wonder who else he, puts in prison or whatever because of bad things. I read a lot of this. I'm probably up to the point where I have even read to. I was done with that, so I'm not reading that. Thermae Romae Novae, which was very easy to watch because I believe it's all on Netflix. I like this. It was despite the fact that it's not Thermae Romae where it was all like very simply animated and very, very fun. This is a lot more complicated. The animation's more complex. The ideas are much the same as they were already, but it seems like a lot of them are. It seems like they took whatever was going on beforehand and then took it and turned it a bit, because I don't remember a lot of the, like in the original like short animated thing. A lot of the ideas that come up there I don't see here, and vice versa. I also like that there seems to be kind of an evolving storyline in this one, which is fun too. And also at the end of every one of these episodes, there's a brief segment where the mangaka, she goes to a hot springs town and does like a tour, and they try to tie it in with stuff that's going on, talking about like Japanese bathing culture and how it kind of relates to Roman bathing culture. And I mean, it's kind of clear that she's, as Bionel puts, it's a brief segment where she writes off a vacation as a business expense. I'm like, yeah, probably. Doing a lot of filming, doing a lot of sitting in hot springs and stuff, and doing a lot of drawings to be like, this is how Lucius would react to this kind of thing going on in this place. But also getting to see a lot of interesting ideas of bads that the Japanese, came up with, and ideas they came up with to kind of, do hot spring bathing. Anyway, it was fun. It's on Netflix. Check it out. Tiger and Bunny 2, also on Netflix. Heather and I watched this. We semi-binged it, I guess. I mean, we could watch one every night. So we'd already seen the first season of Tiger and Bunny, which is also on Netflix. This, of course, happens a little while later, but there's also movies in between, so we didn't watch one of the movies, so we had no idea who one of the characters are and where he came from, but he was there all of a sudden. And this is not bad. I like the first season better than the second season. But the second season was all right. But the second season was all right because it was fun to see a bunch of new characters and seeing how they're adapting to what's going on. But because of the length of the season, nobody really gets a chance to have a lot of like Magical Cat. She doesn't get a lot of chance to have any development, and like feel like it's a whole thing to like Magical Cat's whole story that's like, boy, she really could use a lot of time, like several episodes to work through the stuff that's going on with her family. And you know, other characters having a little more fleshing out as well, but they have to kind of cover this idea of how are you getting people now? They have to work in everybody has to work in a pair, and that's fun and different. But yeah, so we watched it and was like, this was good. I don't know if it was great, but it was good. So yeah, if there's more coming, then wonderful. We got to the end of it and it felt like nothing about it really felt like, oh, there should be more after this. It just felt like this is where we're ending. And I'm like, sure, you're ending it here. I guess that's fine. Whatever. Tomodachi Game. Didn't watch that. Oh, wait, should you watch this? Watch the first season if you haven't seen it. And if you like the first season, watch the second season. Maybe you'll like it. I don't know. Watch the movies in between. Let's see here. Tongari Atama no Gonta Futatsu no Namae wo Ikita Fushima Hisainu no Monogatari. It's a movie. Didn't watch it. Ultraman Season 2. Didn't watch that. Unmei no Makimoto Shi. Didn't watch that. Vampire in the Garden. Did not watch that. Think people have said this was, oh, well, it's got a 71% from whomever, so enjoy it, I guess. But anyway. Yatagame-chan, this is that fourth season of a thing I watched one time, and then like after that, I'm like, I stopped watching that. So it's very much local idol kind of. It's like I live in this place now. Tell me more about the things that are from this place. It's tourist anime. Sorry, it's tourist anime. Yofukashi no Utaminu. Yo, what? Those? Oh, they're airing right now. Okay, cool. I'm reading Yofukashi no Uta, Call the Night Walkers, Call of the Night, whatever you want to, Song of the Night, whatever you want to call it. Vampire manga. I hate vampires. This is by the same guy who did Dagashikashi. And I was like, well, I got to see what the weird vampire thing is. The current state of that manga is we've gotten into some very chuny feeling territory, but also feels like it's trying to wrap itself up. So I'm like probably another like 30 or 40 chapters. It'll probably get there. But yeah. The first bits of it are good, and I think I'm going to watch the anime if it seems like they're going to make an anime. I think I saw a thing they're making an anime. I'm like, if they make an anime, they get 12 episodes out of it, I'll watch that like I always do. We'll see how that goes. Yu-Gi-Oh! Nope. Yuki Horoki Shifutai. Interesting. Oh! ONA? Taking place in Arceus? Cool. If it looks like this, that's killer. I think this is this being shown on YouTube? I think I've seen this go by. Haven't watched it, though. Yukoku no Moriarty, OVA, nope. Yusha Yamimasu. Did not watch that either. Great. Okay, back to the top. Overall, favorite things of 2022. Well, things that I love to watch. Spy Family was fantastic. Komi-san was fantastic. Aharen-san was fantastic. Kunichi Tsubaki was, again, a lot of fun. I really enjoyed watching that. My biggest surprise was Love After World Domination, which is where Fudo from the Gelato 5 and Decimi, who's the Shinigami princess from Gecko, they end up falling in love on the battlefield. And it's like, that was a very good show. And I'm glad that I got to watch that. So anyway, because I took my break already, we're going to move right into summer. And this is where I get to discover what I'm going to watch, because I haven't actually looked at this yet. Oh my God. The 500 million year button. I don't even know how to pronounce that number in Japanese, because it's, hang on. It's Ichihakusen Man. Yeah, I don't know how far that goes. All right, well, let's see. It's a short, so I might not ever see a translation for it. Press the 500 million year button and a million yen will come out. In exchange, you have to spend 500 million years in completely empty space. However, the moment 500 million years have passed, your memory will be erased and you'll be right back where you started. For the person who pressed the button, it would be like a million yen in an instant. 5-year-old Tonio, 14-year-old Jaibi, and 17-year-old Tsuneko are at a loss for money to pay their father's treatment. In front of the three siblings, a person with the 500 million year button appears. Cool. It's based on a story from a series. And it's a short, so it's probably like, 10-minute episodes, 5-minute episodes. I mean, the idea of you have to live 500 million years all by yourself in a completely empty space, but then when that's done, your memory's erased and you're right back to where you started. And it's like, right, so you wouldn't remember any of that. I'm like, right. But it also means you'd have to suffer through the thing. It's like, yeah, this whole psychological thing, maybe I'm not going to watch that. Maybe I'm not interested in that. Maybe we'll just move on. Why wouldn't I? Aikatsu, probably not going to watch that because I'm not interested in Aikatsu. It's their 10th story anyway. Ame o Tsugeru Hyoryu Danchi is an ONA. So that could either be a Netflix movie. It could be something else. Seems like a Netflix movie. 6th graders Kosuke and Natsume grew up in the same apartment building as childhood friends. During summer break, while playing in the apartment building that's said to be demolished, they find themselves caught in a strange phenomenon. All they can see around them is a vast sea. Will Kosuke and the others make it back to their world? Journey of Fair Whales in Summer has just begun. I'll probably watch that if it's a movie. Sure, why not? Arifureta Shokugyo de Sekai Saikyo Mabaroshi no Bouken to Kiseki no Kaigo. Nope. Sounds like it's something that I should already know about, but I don't remember. Moving on. Bakuten's getting a movie. I don't even remember what Bakuten is. Bang Dream, Morphonication. Focus on the band Morphonica. Not watching that probably. Bastard, I think, has just started airing on Netflix. So, yeah, if you like the original Bastard, I guess this is it coming back, I guess. Boku no Hero Academia 5 is an ONA. It's only 2 episodes. I don't even watch that, so not going to care too much about that. Buchigire. Okay, in the era where samurai controlled Japan, the masked demons annihilated all but one member of the Shinsengumi, who had worked to maintain the peace and public order in Kyoto. Okay, here's the thing. So, the Ishin Shishi and the Shinsengumi ultimately come to battle, is how I understand this, how this works. Largely, my bigger understanding of how things worked in this time period are like Rurouni Kenshin and Gintama, because I didn't actually look into, and I took Japanese history, but there's a lot of Japanese history, so you have to kind of fly through things sometimes. And man, so many people, like, when you go on, I'm gonna get one of those cool happy that have the sawtooth pattern on the side. And I'm like, great, okay, why? It's like, well, because the Shinsengumi, what a romantic thing. And it's like, is it? It was a public police service that, are they the good guys though? Really? I mean, they maintain peace and order, but are they actually were they actually the good guys all the time? Or were they interested in maintaining? It seems like they were maintaining the shogunate, as opposed to maintaining like the emperor. And ultimately, didn't everyone want to bring back the emperor? And then the Shinsengumi had to get into a fight with him, and it was like, all this kind of stuff. And it's like, yeah, I don't really keep it quite straight. And so I'm like, I don't know who was supposed to be on the right side or the wrong side of that. So 7 criminals are chosen as substitutes for the deceased Shinsengumi members, and they are led by Ichiban Boshi, whose parents were also killed by the masked demons. He becomes a substitute for Commander Isami Kondo, who I think is actually a real person, and goes after the masked demons with the other substitutes to avenge his parents' death. Former criminals rise up to restore peace and order. As that crazy story begins, now's the time to shine the brightest. I don't think I will. I don't think that's going to be my thing. Card Fight Vanguard. Will dress. Nope. Oh, it's overdress. Teen Runaway Yu Yu. No, that's okay. We'll move on. Chimimo. Meet Hell's most adorable messenger. All right, keep talking. Chimimo might be an average demon, but he and his horde of minions have big dreams of unleashing hell on Earth. Too bad a portal to the human realm drops him in the middle of the Onigami household where the family's 3 unflappable sisters rule the roost with iron fists. Now Chimimo is stuck as their freeloading roommate, and his ambitions of unleashing the apocalypse will have to wait until he can summon the willpower to get off the couch. I see. I probably won't end up seeing this if it's a short. Not really that interested in watching it. I guess if I need something to fill time, but eh. Original anime series set in the universe of Cyberpunk 2077. Cyberpunk Edge Runners. Standalone 10-episode story about a street kid trying to survive in technology and body modification except Sissy of the future. Stay alive, become an edge runner, mercenary outlaws, also known as a cyberpunk. You can't just call it cyberpunk, you see. But I mean, that is what they're saying. Cyberpunks. Trigger's doing it, though. So, Ian will watch that. I don't know if I'm going to watch it. I'm not that... Anytime that there's been, like, video game tie-in shows, I don't really feel like I need to go ahead and watch it. But, you know, it's like... Sure, maybe there's something about this. Maybe there's something in this that's good. I don't know. I'll probably, it's an ONA, which means it's probably going to show up on Netflix. And then maybe I will watch an episode of it or two. We'll see what happens. D4DJ Double Mix special episode. Yeah, I'm not going to watch that. Delicious Party Precure movie. Nope. Dr. Stone special. Set after second season centered around Myusei Nanami. Okay. I mean, if I see it show up in my feed, then I will probably watch that episode. Is it okay to pick up girls in a dungeon? Dungeon ni deai o motomere no wa machigatte iru daro ka 4. Shin shou meikyu hen. I didn't watch the other ones, so I'm not going to watch this one. Engage Kiss. 13-episode series. The anime is set in Bailong City, an artificial island city established outside of any country's jurisdiction. Oh, no. In the Pacific Ocean to exploit local natural resources, in particular the mining of the new energy resource Orgonium. Ah, very much like Organon. Has resulted in an outbreak of disasters by demons in the city. So we have some demon hunting going on. Reading some more stuff here. A demon girl does contract work at Shu's office. Shu is the guy who runs a private military company, and he is always broke. She does contract work and is worried for him. She also attends a high school, does clerical work to household chores with confidence. So it's live-in a maid situation with demon girl, and who apparently will always dress very skimpy, I guess. And Shu has an ex-girlfriend who's an lead agent, probably that one there, work colleague. In a major PMC, she used to be a member. Yeah, sure, whatever. I don't know. Action, comedy, romance, and supernatural. I don't know. I don't know that's going to be my jam, so probably not watching that. Extreme Hearts. Set in the near future with the hobby of hypersports, enhanced with special gear and power-up items, has become popular among children and adults alike. Story focuses on Hiyori Hayama, a second-year high school student who initially has no connection to hypersports. Really? Really? A sports anime where the person who shows up has no idea what's going on and then just kind of jumps into it in their second-year high school and becomes really fucking good at it? They just happen to have the knack? And they dress like they're an idol group? Hey, pass. Huto Tante. Okay. Anime commemorating the 50th anniversary of Kamen Rider debut. What? Why? This doesn't look like Kamen Rider at all. In the ecologically minded city of Huto, mysterious devices resembling USB flash drives called Gaia memories are used by criminals and other interested parties to become monsters called dope ants. Dope ants? Sure, dope ants. Committing crimes with the police force powerless to stop them. Make matters worse, the Gaia memories carry a dangerous toxin that causes the users to go insane to the point where they could die from the life-threatening devices. Oh, so Yo, this is a great idea. I'm crazy. After the death of his boss, the self-proclaimed hard-boiled detective Shotaro Hidari works with the mysterious Philip to investigate crimes which involve dope ants. Dope ants. Using their own guy memories, Shotaro and Philip. Ooh, I see. They're also poisoning themselves. Use the double driver belts to transform and combine into Kamen Rider Double to fight the dopant menace and keep Futo safe. I'm not a Kamen Rider person, so I probably won't take part. It'd probably be an interesting way to get a taste of the culture, but yeah. Whoa. 4th film compiling the Gundam Geno Reconquista anime and has new content for the series. Probably won't watch that. And the 5th and final one, Jesus. Hanabi-chan wa Okuregachi. Probably won't watch that. Yo! Right, I forgot. We've waited like what? 5 years, 10 years for this? The 2nd season of Hataraku Mao-sama? Yeah. Heather and I watched the first one. So we're going to watch the second one. Looking forward to this. I think we rewatched a couple of episodes just to get a taste of like what was going on in the series again. I think we might have watched the whole thing, in fact. But it was fun. Yeah, watch the first season of this, Robber. It's it was a fun show. If you like the comedy fantasy thing, it's about the Sadao Mao is what they call him, but he's the demon lord of an isekai, and he gets sucked through a gate. Him and some of his lieutenants get sucked through a gate to our world, into Tokyo, and they and he's like, damn, we need to somehow make a living and do some stuff. And so he starts working at the local McDonald's alike. And his lieutenant, I forget the name of his lieutenant again, he starts like being a homemaker to try to be like, okay, we're gonna try to establish a thing, and I'm gonna be the one who works hard and try to become. He eventually becomes like shift manager or assistant shift manager or something like that. Like he becomes like very well established in the thing, and he gets like a 25 yen an hour raise or whatever. And it's like, yes, more money coming in, and we can buy more than just bean sprouts. It's like living a very poor existence. But other lieutenants show up, but also she's the hero, and she gets sucked through as well. And so there's this problem of she wants to defeat him and figures she can do that, but is like, well, also now that I live in Japan and she has a job working as a call center agent and has a fairly nice little apartment and stuff. And it's like, this is a fairly peaceful life. And I hate that I feel, that I hate that I feel like I kind of like it here. Okay. But also it's fun. And there's it's going to seem, thinking the fact that this has been around for like 9 years since they've made it, and the manga's been around, of course, obviously longer than that, it's going to seem familiar, but it was good. And so I hope the next season is going to be good too. Whoa, shit. The Lucifer and Biscuit Hammer, huh? Okay. That is what this is, right? Hoshino Samidare? It's a slideshow. So a whole bunch of people that I know talked about the Lucifer and Biscuit Hammer. I tried to read it. I think I got 2 or 3 chapters in and just was like, dropped it. There was nothing in there that interested me. And it's like, I can't even tell you why, because I don't even remember reading it. I don't know if watching an episode of it will be like, oh, watch an episode and get acquainted with it. This is the thing. People always be like Aquinas is saying, it gets really, really good. And it's like, yes, people always say this thing that everybody loves, they love it for a reason because it gets really, really good. And I'm like, I get that. But I have to get there, and sometimes if I bounce off a thing, it's like I just don't think I want to keep reading the thing if I'm gonna bounce off of it, right? Like, it's like when I told Heather that it's like, okay, look, We should watch Star Trek, definitely. We'll start with the first one because it's, they're fun. Season 3 is not very good compared to the first 2 seasons, but whatever. But hey, here's the thing. We're going to watch Next Gen. And you've seen some Voyager, and you've seen some DS9, and I think you've seen an episode of Next Gen, maybe. We're going to start from the beginning. And I need to warn you that the beginning is dire. It's like what, like the first few seasons or the first few episodes? I'm like, no. The first 3 seasons are dire. But trust me, when you get to the end of the 3rd season, you're like, huh. And then you get to the 4th season, you're like, huh. And you get to the 5th season, you're like, the good shit has begun. It's like, yes. But part of that is also why we're still stuck in the middle of the 2nd season of DS9, because it's the same kind of thing again. And I'm just like, hard for me to really get rolling on something if it's like, hey, you should read this manga because it will eventually become really, really good. And I'm like, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll pick this up. Maybe I'll pick the TV show up and watch it and be like, okay, it's time to read it because I watched the thing and enjoyed it. So we'll see. Maybe also some of you have said it's like the production looks dire. Maybe that'll be a problem too. We'll see what happens. Idolboo show movie. Nope. Skipping that. Ice Cream Double. The 2nd season of something I've never heard of before. Isekai make you de harem wo. Okay, so this tag here, very important. I'm reading this, and boy, yeah, this is spicy. It's quite the So yeah, also yeah, she's a dog person. So don't worry about that. There's and also a slave. Yes, don't worry about that. Whoo, this is when you read this, it's like he's a strong man who can claim idol level girls. Thus begins the cheat and harem legend of a reborn man. I'm like, wow, yeah, you saw what was happening with how people reacted to the, oh, I see you buy slaves in Shield Hero. That's how this is gonna work. And it's like, and yeah, I like this. It is spicy as hell. But also weirdly, like, very compartmentalized. Like, okay, so we're going to have all the sex scenes here, and we're going to get through that. And then when that's done, we're going to go on dungeon adventuring. And I'm going to have cheat skills and shit and be able to look at people's statuses and whatever. And then when that's done, we're going to have some sex scenes again. And I'm like, wow. So, yeah. But hey, I like good smut. And this is very smutty. I will probably watch this and we'll see how this goes. And like I've said before, sometimes you can read smut and you can get through the reading smut just fine. And sometimes you watch it and you're like, I can't deal with this. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. So that's on my list. I was surprised to hear this was getting an anime. I just found out, like, I think yesterday or like a few days ago, I saw it like written up in a new chapter. It's like, oh, we're getting an anime. I'm like, you're getting why? Why would they do? Well, they gave the, what's the name of that? The harem, not the harem reviewers, the brothel reviewers one. They gave that an anime. Holy shit, did they ever give that an anime? Anyway, moving on. Isekai Oji-san. This seems familiar. I don't know. I guess maybe it's not. 17 years ago, Takafumi's uncle fell into a coma, but now he's back like a man risen from his grave. Soon, Takafumi discovers 2 bizarre things. His uncle treasures video games above all else, and while comatose, he was actually transported to another world as some heroic guardian. Now, not only does Takafumi have to room with an uncle who's literally magical, he also has to catch the guy up on 2 decades of history, smartphones, high-speed internet, modern anime tropes, and the traumatic outcome of the 90s console war. You know what? I'll watch an episode or 2 of this probably. We'll see what happens. Maybe it's good. Maybe it isn't. We'll see what happens. Isekai Oji-san is super into Sega. Oh, that's gonna sting. We'll see. Isekai Yakyoku. Oh, hey, they really took her bus down to something normal. Fantastic. This is an interesting isekai. Like, here, the setup. Guy is a pharmacologist, researcher. He died from overworking and reincarnated in medieval parallel Europe. Reincarnated as a 10-year-old boy who happens to be part of the de Medici family, is what they give him as a name. And he can see through disease. He has the God's eye. He doesn't really let people know about that right away, but he can create pharmaceuticals, and he knows how germ theory works. And he's in like a thing where it's like, hey, we're going to have, people get sick. And so we're going to, wave some smoke over you and you're going to eat this powder and stuff. He's like, no, I'm going to tell you what's wrong with you. And because my eye is as good as an X-ray and I can identify stuff. And as long as I just think about the chemical composition of the drug that I'm trying to create, boom, it just gets created. And I'm like, that would be super handy if you can just be like, here's the drug I want. Okay, I want it to look like this, and I want a lot of it, and bam. And then it just appears. You don't have to do like, I need to make this happen, and this happen, and that happen. But man, right off the top in the manga, and go check this out, the woman who shows up, who's kind of his shepherd into like, hey, I'm going to get you familiarized with how things work around here, whatever, had massive breasts. Massive, and a tiny waist. And I'm just like, cool. They got that under control, because I think they kind of got it under control later in the manga as well. But it's like, clearly it's like, it's an isekai. We got to give her big titties or else no one's going to read it, because that's what they wanted of an isekai. And so, yeah, there's that. But then all that goes away because the plague happens. And that was it's been kind of interesting. So anyway, so it's pretty good. The fact that he's a member of the de Medici family means that his dad has an awful lot of pull, and it's not, and his dad's worried about him because he's like, my son's become very smart all of a sudden and knows a lot of things that we didn't know about beforehand. But they kind of go along with it because they're like, well, he's your son, right? And he's like, yeah, he's my son, but it's weird. And then they figure out, it's like, wait, the medicine god imbued him with magical powers. That's great. So we need to protect this kid because otherwise people are going to get mad at him. And yeah, the pharmacy guild gets very upset, but there's a whole bunch of reasons why everything goes through. Whatever, we'll just move beyond it. Jashin-chan Dropkick X. I didn't watch the other ones, so I'm not watching that one. Oh, good. So the next cour of Stone Ocean is coming out, so that's good. It's been a weird show so far. So that's hopefully, yeah, that'll probably drop on Netflix, maybe in bits and pieces. Who knows? We'll see what happens. Kakegurui Twin. Oh, is this? Oh, it's the prequel to Kakegurui. Well, not gonna watch it because I didn't like the look of the sequel, the one that came before this. So I'll move on. Let's see. Kami Kuzu Idol. Boy, this looks like something I might enjoy. Most idols are fueled by their love of performing before adoring fans. Yuya is fueled by his love of an easy paycheck. Yuya is one half of the idol duo Zings, but his supreme laziness, not to mention his disdain for idol fans in general, has him on the brink of getting blacklisted from the business. In a chance backstage encounter, he meets the spectral Asahi, a mysterious... Is this... I keep wanting to say... it's Hikaru no Go. Is this Hikaru no Go? Yes? What? Yes, it is. It's Hikaru no Go. For idols. All right. Oh no, it's already got an episode up. Maybe I'll watch an episode of it. Whatever. Great. Kanojo Okaeri Shimasu 2. Oh, this is the Rental Girlfriend series. Yeah, people like this apparently, and it's been fun, and I don't know, and so there you go. Not going to watch that. Kido Senshi Gundam Suisei no Majo Prologue. Well, I don't think I'm going to watch that. Oh, this is a long name. Let's say it together. Kinso no Vermel. That sucked. Gakepuchi Majutsushi wa Saikyo no Yakusai to Mahosakai wo Tsuki Susumu. Is this related to anything else? Maybe not. I don't know. Meet Alto, a hapless student at Royal Ortigia Magic Academy, whose academic performance leaves much to be desired. Rather than take a more sensible approach to salvaging his grades in time for graduation, Alto decides to summon a bit of otherworldly assistance. Only after he learn he's bound the legendary she-devil Vermeil into service as his familiar. But while Vermeil is a powerful ally, sure to turn his grades around, her magic can only be replenished with a kiss. That makes everything go to hell with Alto's jealous childhood friend, Lilia. Etchy as well? I don't know. Oh, by the way, if you're reading that other Rental Girlfriend manga, there's a better Rental Girlfriend manga out there, actually. The one that I really enjoyed. What the hell's it called again? Something Chizuru-chan? Is that what it's called? God. And I don't have my phone with me, so I can't look it up. It's in my lists, but it's very cute because it's about a girl. It's about a guy who he's nervous around people, and so he decides that he should start, if he's going to get to know women better, he should start by renting a girlfriend because he sees that service. He's like, I'm going to do that, and then he ends up getting along with the girl who shows up, but she's very like, is it Mokuru-chan? Is that her name? I can't remember again. Mokuru-chan? I should look that up real fast. Mokuru-chan. I don't see it. Anyway. But yeah, he's like, oh, I want to get to know girls better, and so then he ends up hiring her, and she shows up, and she's really weird because she's like, okay, so we're not gonna step on any cracks today, but we're also gonna follow a path and do these things. He's like, it's very embarrassing, these things that we're doing, and she's like, no, come on, it'll be fun, and they start kind of just screwing around and doing things like that, like kind of more childish things while they're hanging out, and he's like, this is fun. Like, this girl's a bit of a free this is very kind of like Manic Pixie Dream Girl thing, but she's not quite like that. She's just like, she just likes to have fun and do interesting things. Cable? Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Sorry. Anyway, he ends up oh, maybe I did. Yeah. Okay, we're good. Oh, audio cut completely? That's odd. Yeah, no, I couldn't hear myself for a second either. Anyway. So, he ends up seeing her on a date with somebody else, and he's like, oh, right, yeah, she's a rental girlfriend. That's what happens, right? I guess that sucks because I really like her and everything too, but I don't want to I don't know if I can start dating her because it's her job. That would be weird. And she probably gets guys asking to date her all the time. But he sees her on this date and he figures, well, maybe she's happy doing this kind of thing. But you get to see her on the date and you realize that she really doesn't like some of these dates she goes on because the guys are nice or they're handsome or whatever, but they're very full of themselves and they want to do things a certain way. And she just kind of did her own thing when she was with the other dude. And she had a lot more fun doing that too. I'm like, I bet you the two of them will end up together and it'll be fun and nice, and that's fine. And that's it. That's kind of the only real there's no real Natarare thing going on, or there's no kind of oh, somebody's gonna steal her or whatever. It's just these two go out on a date and they have dates and they're fun and interesting because she comes up with interesting ideas and she takes stuff out of her backpack and we're gonna do this thing now. And he's like, yeah, that's what we're gonna do that, and so it's a lot about him breaking out of his shell and her helping him do that too, which is, it's fun. Anyway, moving on. If I can ever remember the title of it, I will by the end here, I will let everybody know. KJ File. The story is set in a world where unique kaiju suddenly begin appearing in various places around the world. Members of the United Nations Monster Observatory will explore a world where kaiju with great power and humankind live together. I don't know. Maybe it'll be interesting. I don't think I'm going to watch it, but yeah. Wow. Saint Seiya is a gacha game now, so that's cool. If you liked Saint Seiya, here you go. I don't know if I am that interested in this, but anyway, moving on. Kumicho Musume to Sewagakari. Hell yeah, I will watch this. I think I'm reading it. It looks familiar. Kirishima Toru is the right-hand man of the Sakuragi crime family. For him, the job is a perfect excuse to let his violent instincts run wild, earning him the nickname the Demon of Sakuragi. It seems like nothing will stand in his way of his vicious nature, but then one day he receives an assignment like never before from the boss, babysitting his daughter. This is the heartwarming, or is it blood-curdling, story of a little girl and her Yakuza caretaker. Yeah, this is cute. It's dad manga. So, it's... the few translated chapters I read of this, I thought this is cute. I will probably watch this. Moving on. Kuro no Shokanshi, action adventure fantasy. Okay, let's see here. Waking up in a strange new place with no memory of his past life, Kelvin learns he's bartered away those very memories in exchange for powerful new abilities during his recent transmigration. Oh, that's interesting. We're calling it that now, are we? Heading out into a whole new world as a summoner, capital S, with his first capital F follower being the very goddess who brought him over. Ah, yeah, okay. Kelvin begins his new life as an adventurer, and isn't long before he discovers his hidden disposition as a battle junkie. From the Black Knight of this ancient castle of evil spirits to the demon within the hidden cave of the sage, he revels in the fight against one formidable foe after another. Join this OP adventurer and exhilarating epic saga as he and his allies carve their way into the annals of history. I won't, so thanks. Love Live Superstar 2. Lycoris Recoil. Lycorico is a cafe. Okay. With a traditional Japanese twist located in downtown Tokyo, but the delicious coffee and sugary sweets are not the only orders this cafe takes, from delivering packages short distances to pickups and drop-offs on the lonely streets at night to zombies and giant monster extermination. Whatever your problem, we're here to help. We will solve any kind of trouble you may have. Waiting for you are the ever-smiling poster girl and a cool, serious newcomer, a petite girl who never wants to work, and a young woman who approaching 30 who wants to get married. And the manager is a nice guy who's obsessed with the Japan. Whatever your order is, leave it all up to us. I mean, it's slice of life, though, too. I don't know. Seems like, oh, we'll just, get up to some stuff and it'll be fun. But I'm like, I don't know. It's not really grabbing me the way I would expect it to. So I don't think it's going to be something I watch. Moving on. Made in Abyss. Rate Tsujitsu no Ogonkyo. Ogonkyo. Nope. Will not be watching the new Made in Abyss. Made in Abyss. Mama haha no tsurego ga motokano datta. High school. Is there any better place to start fresh after a horrible middle school relationship? I wouldn't know. I never had a serious middle school relationship for the 2 years that I was in my junior high, and then had to go to high school and be like, thank God that's over. I can leave my youth behind and finally move on to becoming more of an adult, but not quite an adult. Anyway, nope, not unless your ex ends up at the same school as you and now your step-sibling. Yeah, I'll move on. Musashi no! Second season of Urawa no Usagi-chan. Natsu-e no Tunnel. Sayonara no Deguchi. It's a movie. Supernatural. Drama romance. Kaoru Toono heard a rumor. The laws of space and time mean nothing to the Urashima Tunnel. If you find it, walk through and you'll find your heart's desire on the other side in exchange for years of your own life. On the night Kaoru just so happens to find himself standing in front of the tunnel that looks suspiciously like the one the rumor describes, he finds himself thinking of Karen, the sister he lost in an accident 5 years ago. To Kaoru's surprise, he's been followed by the new transfer student Anzu Hanashiro, who promises to help him experiment with the mysterious tunnel, but what does she want from Kaoru in exchange? And what will he have left to give after the tunnel's done with him? Maybe. Movie. Maybe. We'll see. Obey Me, the anime season 2. Didn't read the first, watch the first, whatever. Moving on. One Piece film, Red. No, I did not watch that. I'll move on from that. Orient. Awajishima Gekitohen, second Cour of Orient. Didn't watch the first Cour of Orient, so probably won't be watching the second one. Osamatsu-san Hippopo Zoku to Kagayaku Kajitsu. So, to commemorate the 6th anniversary of Osamatsu-san, which was to commemorate whatever other Osamatsu-san, anyway. 2 new theatrical whatevers. Fest Matsu-san 21 event. Sure. Probably not going to watch that. Not watching Overlord already, so we're not watching that. Prima Doll. Cafe Kuro Nekote boasts an unusual roster of employees. A group of automata or autonomous mechanical dolls serve their patrons with a smile, but they weren't always so suited to domestic life. Just a few years prior, automata served as weapons in the Great War. Well, makes sense, yes. Fulfilling the bloody purpose for which they were created. Now that the war has ended, these machines with human hearts search for their place in an unfamiliar, peaceful world, and their search begins at the Kuro Nekote Cafe. Okay. I don't think I will. I'll think about it. It's not really driving me to watch it, so we'll see. Recycle of the Penguin Drum Kohen. This is the second film from the compiled the Penguin Drum anime with new elements. Didn't watch the first one. Probably not going to watch that one. Renmei Kugan Koku Maho Ongakutai. Ongaku, you say. Hey, oh, there's the music. Ecchi and music. Luminous Witches. The war against invading aliens can't be won with missiles alone. By music and titties, I guess. Moving on. Rilakuma to Yuenchi. Not going to watch a Rilakuma thing, I don't think. Ruby. Nope. Not going to bother with that. Saikin Yatota Maid ga Ayashi. I'm reading this. In fact, I'm reading both the webcomic version and the serialized version because, yeah. I'm going to watch this too. It's kind of just fun and dumb, and it's the same thing over and over. There's something really strange about this maid I just hired. No normal person could be so beautiful or cook such amazing, delicious food or know exactly what I want before I even ask. She must be using magic. Right. A spell is the only thing that can explain why my chest feels so tight whenever I look at her. I swear, I'm going to get to the bottom of what makes this maid so mysterious. And that's the thing, is that this whole thing is, it's Shota bait. Like, if you like Shota stuff, then they're, whatever. The maid kind of always has, like, she's going about doing her thing that she does, and the little boy is clearly in love with her, but she keeps trying to, like, tease him that, oh, you're acting like that because you must be in love with me. And he's like, yes, clearly I feel this way about you and whatever. And then that makes her blush because he's, like, being so forthright about the way he's feeling, and he's confused about the way he's feeling. And she's like, oh no. As Gekyoryu points out, this is from the Jahi-san author, which is why I started reading this. I'm like, oh, I like Jahi-san. Let's see what this is like. Oh, I see. This is not Jahi-san. This is very different. But it's I don't know. It's pretty just like the same thing over and over. I think if you watch the first episode of it, you'll probably be like, I get it. I'll either like watching more of this or I won't. And the fact that they're going to find a way to do a whole season of a TV show, not TV shorts. All right, let's see what happens. Sasaki to Miyano, koi ni kizuku mae no choto shita hanashi. Oh, this is a extra episode that for something I didn't watch. Sekkai no owari ni Shiba Inu to. The sole surviving human and her canine companion, Haru, wander a desolate wasteland after the destruction of civilization, but this is no dark doomsday tale. Haru, a wise beyond his years talking Shiba Inu, makes sure his master stays one step ahead of post-apocalyptic pessimism with his clever antics, hilarious observations, and philosophical ponderings. She may be the last girl on Earth, but with Haru at her side, the road through the apocalypse will never be boring. Oh, okay, last girl's trip, but I have a dog. I don't know, that just... something about the destruction of civilization and desolate wasteland and all that, I don't think even if it's a comedy, I think I might find it hard to keep up with. If it's an ONA, I think the YouTube thing means it's just going to YouTube. So, moving on. Shadow's House, second season. Right, I thought about watching the first season. I should maybe get on that. Yeah, new Prince of Tennis. Not going to watch that. Shine Post, music thing. Although the outer group Tings, didn't we see a thing about Tings earlier? Whatever. Tings is chasing after big dreams. So far, their accomplishments have only been small. And now suddenly they're facing a potential breakup. Hope seems lost, but when a new manager with a special skill set takes them under his wing, that's you, by the way. You're the one who's doing that. The members of Tings find themselves shooting for the stars all over again. Probably not going to watch that. Shoot! Goal to the future. Atsushi Kamiya, former captain of Kakegawa High School and world-renowned courageous captain for a famous Italian soccer team, and Hideto Tsuji, a student at the Kakegawa High School who seems uninterested in the now weakened soccer team. Their meeting is to start a new legend. No, I'm not gonna. There we go. Soredemo Ayumu wa yosete kuru. Ayumu moves closer to the end game. Ayumu Tanaka just fell in love with at first sight with Urushi Yaotome. We never hear her name in the series. Like, you always hear Yaotome Senpai or just Senpai. Almost always you're hearing Senpai for like the longest time. Anyway, she's the head of the illegitimate shogi club, and he joined the shogi club. It's illegitimate because they don't have enough members. It's, you know how that is. But Ayumu has vowed not to confess his feelings until he can best Urushi, and he has a long way to go before he can stamp to her strategic brilliance. As Ayumu strives to beat his crush and confess, love becomes a battlefield both on and off the shogi board, while audiences wonder, when will Ayumu make his move? It's obvious he'll make his move when he beats her. However, he makes it very clear to her that the moment he beats her, he's going to confess. So this is very much about, I am blushing so hard at the idea that this boy is trying to confess to me, but I'm going to keep kicking his ass so he has to earn it. And that's fun in its own way. It's another Yamamoto Soichiro show, like Takagi-san and Kunichi Tsubaki. I'm going to be watching this because I'm reading the manga. And again, the manga is like 70 chapters or whatever. There's lots of it. And it's just like fun. Like, I like it well enough. It's pretty light fare. Sword Art Online progressive movie. I won't. Tensei Kenja no Isekai Life. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's 11 o'clock. We're almost done. Maybe I'll just roll on through. Getting isekai'd to a magical world. I like transmigrated. We should use that from now on. Getting transmigrated to a magical world and developing incredible powers is every otaku's wildest dream, but for salaryman Yuji Sano, it's the stuff of absolute nightmare. He's in the middle of a mountain of work when he gets unwillingly pulled into a fantasy realm where he accomplishes the enviable feat of developing a second character class by making the most of his monster tamer abilities. Now he's traded the office for adventuring to make a living, but he keeps getting roped into major events because his powers are unmatched, second to none, and he doesn't even realize it yet. No, I don't think I will. I mean, the Tensei is supposed to be genius, I think. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to end up watching this. Teppen! Oh my god, are they setting a new record? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Oh my goodness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16? Sure. Yayoi Sakamoto, a diehard fan of comedians and comedy clubs, enrolls at the private Kazuki High School in Nanba, Osaka's entertainment district, famous for the starting point for many comedians. He reunites with Yomogi Takahashi, childhood friend who once formed the comedy duo Konamonzu with her when they were little. Before long, they find themselves putting together a routine at a park like they did before in order to enter a local shopping area's contest. At that moment, a mysterious girl calls out to them. I don't think I will end up watching this. There was that other comedy anime that came out about the, high schoolers trying to start their own manzai teams, and you get to watch like people who are adult manzai group trying to like get a break. So it's like the only way this is going to work for us is if we can actually like get a break. We need to be able to quit our day jobs and get paid to do this, and have something that catches on with people. And I don't know. I don't think I'm going to watch that. Idolmaster Cinderella Girls 10th Anniversary Celebration Animation Eternity Memories. Nope. There we go. Tokyo Mew Mew New. The scientists, the Mew Project, use DNA I was like, how do I pronounce this? Mew Mew? Oh, wait, maybe Mew? No, maybe it is Mew Mew. Whatever. I use DNA of indigenous species to create a team of heroines imbued with amazing superhuman abilities. One of them, Ichigo Momoya, we can discover she is armed with all the skills of an Iriomote cat. Oh, that's the one that was in Azumanga Daioh that we love. Ichigo must band together with other Mew Mew girls to repel an alien incursion, all the while hiding their thrilling double lives from friends and family. The alternate relation is provisional until further information is released. What does that even mean? I guess we're going to learn more about it. Heather will be very happy to find out there's a new Tokyo Mew Mew. I will probably watch it with her. That'll be fun. Tonikaku Kawaii Seifuku. Oh, a new special episode with the second season. Okay, well, I watched the first season, and it was fine. It was aggressively fine. I will watch the next one, and I will probably watch this episode if it gets included as the thing, so sure. Tsurune movie, Hajimari no Isha. I don't think I know anything about Tsurune. Kyoani's doing it, though. Cool. Uteno, ching, Prince Sama, la, Maji loves, ching, Rish tours. Nah, not gonna. Utawareru mono, Utawareru mono, Futari no Hakuoro. 28 episodes. So, hey, if you like Utawareru mono, there you go. There's more of it, I guess. I think I have it sitting on my shelf. I think Heather got it, so probably not going to watch it myself, though. I might let her know if she's interested, but anyway. Warau Ars Notoria Sun. So a word, something, and another word. Here in the Magic Academy of Ashram, City of Ashram, okay, where everyone is required to live in dormitories. Yeah, yes, don't ever have parents. A close-knit group of girls known as pentagrams pursue their studies, including training in matters of magic to become true ladies. Ars Notoria, one of the students in Ashram, lives in dorm 5 and is always with her dorm mate friends. May, who's the life of the party. Petite Albert, who's quiet and does things at her own pace. Pikatrix, who wants to be class president. Abramelin, who's always cool. They take classes and work on their school duties together and throw tea parties after school in that room, you know, the room that the light music group normally has their rehearsals in. We'll share the girls' fun and lively days with you. I don't know. Maybe not. Here we go. Yofukashi no Uta. Like I said, I'm reading it. I'll watch the 13 episodes. We'll see what happens. Racked by insomnia and wanderlust, Ko Yamori is driven onto the moonlit streets every night. He's a middle school student. I want to be clear. Let's get this started right now. He's a middle school student who is like sick of school. He can't sleep at night, so he decides to get up and walk around in the middle of the night. And he's like, this is cool. Nobody's out here. And then like in the morning, he goes home and he goes to sleep and he sleeps all day and his parents don't give a shit for whatever reason. They're assuming, I guess, he's a Chunin or Hikikomori or something. I don't know what they're assuming about him, but it's just like, they just kind of let it be. People at school are worried because they're like, boy, you know, like he doesn't think he has any friends at school. He has like a couple people who are like friendly, but he's like, I'm just going to walk around now at night and do whatever. And then he runs into Nazuna, who might just be a vampire. Ko's new companion could offer him dark gifts and a vampire's immortality, but there are conditions that must be met before Ko can sink his teeth into vampirism, and he has to discover just how far he's willing to go to satisfy his desires before he can heed the call of the night. Now, the reason I read this is because, I mean, it's done by the Dagashi Kashi guy, and I want to see what the new thing is that they were doing. And also, the rule is that, like, he's walking around, and Nazuna shows up, and she's like, hey, are you having trouble sleeping? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, cool. Maybe what you need is a massage. And he's like, I don't know. And it's like, okay, well, how about this? Like, I think it was like sleep therapy or something like that. It's like, just come and lay down in the same room that I'm laying down in, and we will just sleep on the same mat together. And then we will, you know, we will be here and we will sleep on the same mat or something like that. I seem to remember that coming up at some point. That might have been like a different character in the same manga, but anyway. But we find out that, yeah, she's a vampire. Though her circumstances, as we found out like 80, 90 chapters in, because a lot of this is already out, her circumstances are a little different. And we find out also that if he wants to become a vampire, there's going to be some specific things that have to go on for him to become a vampire. She can't just bite him and suck his blood and be done with it. But I believe she ends up doing that anyway. And yeah, I will watch some of this. We'll see how it goes. It's a pretty, despite the psychological thing, it seems pretty light in terms of like what's in the manga. So I'm like, I don't think it will get too deep, but we'll see what happens. Yojohan Time Machine Blues. Yojohan Shinwa Take. Okay. ONA sequel. Protagonist troublemaking friend Ozu gets the student apartment's only air conditioner remote control wet, breaking on a certain midsummer day. The students wonder what to do about the situation for the remainder of the summer and make a plan with Akashi. An unstylish male student from 25 years in the future arrives in a time machine. Protagonist travels back in time to try to retrieve the remote control before it's broken. Perfect. Wonderful. What a great, dumb, easy idea. Science Saru's doing it. It's getting released as a film, but the anime is having an earlier run on Disney Plus before the earlier episodic release on Disney Plus before the theatrical run. So you can either wait for it to become a thing, or you can just watch this when it went on Disney Plus. Maybe we'll get it in Canada. I have no idea. But yeah, interested to see how that's gonna go down. Yeah, this is the Tatami Galaxy sequel, but it's not a sequel. Bionol's saying it's an unrelated story, but it's like, same universe kind of idea. I recently watched Night is Long, Walk On Girl, and that was a very fun movie, and very interesting, and felt like it was 3 hours long. Oh my God. It's such a long movie is what it feels like. So, don't expect it on Western Disney Plus? Okay, well, if we're not getting any of this stuff on Western Disney Plus, then whatever, I guess. I will find it when it falls off the back of a truck. Yoru wa neko to isho. I don't know what this is, but I'm kind of drawn in by this. The big eyes. When Huta comes home tired at night, all he wants to do is spend time with his new cat. All the mysterious habits and mannerisms of house cats are carefully reproduced in this relaxed and cute comedy about living with an adorable fur ball. Okay, great, sure. I might put that on the list then. Yokoso Jitsu Ryoku Shijo Shugi no Kyoshitsu Ie, second season. I didn't watch the first one. Yurei Deko. Oh, you look interesting. TV show, huh? The story begins when Barry, an average girl from an average home, meets Hack, a girl who looks like a boy. Charmed by Hack, Barry meets up with a team Hack leads, the Ghost Detectives Club. Members of this club are socially dead, working invisibly with the digitally controlled society of Tom Sawyer. As she works, this is one of these things where it's like, we just took names and shit, man. As she works with the group, Barry learns about Zero, a mysterious figure who lurks within the Tom Sawyer underground. She and Hack decide to chase down this figure, and in time, the truth behind the city is revealed. Sure. Science Saru doing a TV show. Yeah, okay, whatever. I'll watch the first one. We'll see what happens. Yay! A movie, and they're grown-ups. Camp is back. Oh, wild. Nadeshiko, Rin, Chiaki, Aoi, Ena, and Chikawa, which is the dog, are reuniting once more as grown-ups for another camping trip, but instead of finding a place to pitch their tents, they'll be building their own camping ground. There was a brief moment where I believe in the anime they showed off what happened when they all became adults, but it was like one of those, like, I'm imagining this because Nadeshiko is late, and Yudu Camp is also known as Laid Back Camp for anyone who's asking. The Yudu I thought might mean Yuri as well because it's like, oh, it's all girls. But no, it's just Laid Back Camp. Go Yukuri. So from that kind of... actually, no, the Yukuri is what that is, not Yuruki. I got that backwards in my head. Yeah, it's just Laid Back Camp Delta movie. Anyway, Nadeshiko shows up because she's become like a camping... like magnate, and she shows up with in a helicopter or something. She shows up in like a drone that's actually a tent, and it flies itself in a big platform, and then everyone comes and stays in the tent with her, and they fly away, and it's wild. It's a fun show, and definitely is the kind of manga that's very much like everything's being drawn off of photos because it's so much a scenery from around Japan, but also I have this feeling in some way that I think they're cheating a little bit. They're like almost like they're taking the photo and they're running it through a filter to make it into a hand-drawn looking thing and then cleaning it up a bit, because I'm like, there's no goddamn way you'd have to have a ton of assistance, or you must really like drawing landscapes because they're so detailed. They're so detailed. Anyway, looking forward to this. Yusha yamimasu. Kenshu ryoko wa mo kuteki o miyushinao na. I have not, don't know, so moving on. Zannen na Ikimono Jiten, the movie. Don't know what that's about. It's a movie. Strange and unfortunate animals that live in 3 areas: Antarctica, Australia, Azumi Basin in Nagano Prefecture, Japan. And that's it. So things I'm excited about this season, well, that movie perhaps. Yofukashi no Uta, I'm cautiously optimistic about being able to watch that and thinking that'll be fun. Tokyo Mew Mew New will be fun because nice to have things to watch with Heather. I'm excited to see the Ayumu adaptation. Let's see, what else? I'm interested to see the Maid thing. But, you know, if I end up not watching it, I'll completely forget that it existed, I'm sure. I'm interested to see the Kumicho Musume. Yeah, I think that might be interesting too. I don't think I'm going to watch Knights of the Zodiac. It's ONA, so it might be on Netflix. We'll see what happens there. Probably not going to watch this. May or may not watch this thing about the Hikaru no Go, but Idols. Stone Ocean, definitely interested in watching more of that. This isekai thing, the Yakyoku, which is about the pharmacist. Probably the Isekai Oji-san one I'll be watching. Be watching Isekai Meikyu de Heromo. Oh. Not Wo. Oh. And maybe I will watch Hosino Samidare. We'll see. Yes, definitely interested in Hataku Mao-sama Season 2. So going back over this is like, there are some things in here where I'm like, yeah, I'll watch that. Remember Cyberpunk's getting a thing by Trigger? Sure. So much on the top where I'm like, I didn't see, other than this movie or ONA, I guess, it's like I don't really see much else in here that I want to watch. So the Rental Girlfriend, it's not rent. Let's just go to Manga Dex and have a quick look. It is Rental Girlfriend Tsukita-san. I was like, I know it's Rental Girlfriend something, so. Rental Girlfriend Tsukita-san. Hoshino Masato, who's 28, is a very shy guy who's even nervous about being handed change by a woman at a convenience store. In order to get used to women and grow as a man, he mustered up the courage to make a reservation with a rental girlfriend. But what came was a bit of a weird girl, Tsukita-san. Tsukita-san is going above and beyond what he expected. And Hoshino-kun is getting overwhelmed. A new addictive romantic comedy about the exquisite relationship between the two. It's 18 chapters long and last translated 3 months ago. So, but still, it only has, it's already done. It's wrapped up on the 20th chapter. So waiting for someone to do the last 5. But yeah, it's cute. Okay. I think that has to be it. Like, nothing that I'm so excited about that I'm like, man, this is killer stuff this season. Like, yeah, you know, like coming off of last season where there's like several things where I'm like, oh, yes. But, you know, it's not every season can be a winner. We've learned that many times over the years. So we're just going to, you know, it's just going to be what it is. And I want to thank everybody, of course, for coming by tonight. If you saw stuff that you liked, you know, watch it, and if you saw nothing that you liked, then that's gonna suck for another year. Hope you find something to enjoy otherwise. I guess not for a year, for the next 3 months. Look up some other stuff, I guess, that you find online. As always, the stream is brought to you by you. You paid for this tonight. You did. On patreon.com/loadingreadyrun is one of the ways to do that. You can also do that through store.loadingreadyrun.com by buying our merchandise. You can also back us on YouTube. Hi, everybody in YouTube land. Going to youtube.com/loadingreadyrun, signing up for the memberships, or even just like, dropping a super thanks or whatever on some of our videos on the main channel. That is a very easy way to do that. But then also there's Twitch. And so let's quickly go down everybody who showed up tonight. I think I even got somebody from, oh no, wait, Heather sorted that out for me. Let's start with Crimson Dragoon, who's subbed for 102 months. 102 months, damn. 10th Tech Priest for 52 months. Io Otter for 80 months, saying Animu. Banather for 60 months. He got that 5-year anniversary. Lurker Spine with 100 bits. John K235 for 91 months. Bistod for 59 months. Heal with Eyes for that 1-year anniversary. Toxic with 67 months. Paravale for 63 months. Cetralin for 68 months, the rarest of resubs. Ben Smith 0987 for 22 months. SFS Mouse for 32 months. And Atrey DHD for the full 3 years. So thank you, everybody, for showing up. I've had a good time tonight. I hope you have had... It seems you have all had a good time. You've been all... yes, you're all thanking me, and I appreciate it. I'm waving at you in the chat window, which is on the other part of the thing, but I'm waving at you for doing that. Thank you. If you are out of stuff to watch, I guess, I don't know, there's always Road Quest. Like some of you haven't already watched that a dozen times already. Anything else I want to say before I go? No, I think we're just going to wrap up and go. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to go have a drink and then probably just go right to sleep because that's who I am now. Take care. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, stay inside if you can because pandemic is still technically a thing. But get out as often as you can, too, if you can. And if you do, wear a mask and get those vaccinations if they're in your country at this point. And if they're not, I don't know... I hope you can make a trip to a country where you can get a vaccination, if they let you do things like that. I'm not sure. I think if people came to Canada and were like, I want a vaccination, they might be like, I don't know if we can really do that for you because it might not be allowed, but maybe they do. Who knows? Anyway, we love you. Take care of yourselves, and we will see you again next time